Are you ready to dive into the exhilarating world of triathlons? But honestly, you're just unsure exactly where to start. Maybe you've watched those incredible athletes crossing a finish line and thought, could I actually do that? Well, the answer is an absolute yes. Today, we're going to demystify everything about triathlon distances and turn you into a knowledgeable enthusiast who's totally ready to embark on that very first race. Welcome to This Explainer.
We've got a fantastic roadmap mapped out for you today. We'll kick things off with an introduction to the sport, demystify those different race distances, and explore some essential training tips and success stories. Then, we'll highlight common beginner mistakes you'll want to avoid, prep you for the big race day, and finally, share some awesome resources for your journey. Let's get into it.
Section 1. Introduction to Triathlons. So, what exactly is a triathlon? Well, it's a continuous endurance event made up of 3 very distinct disciplines, and they are literally always completed in this specific sequence: swim, then bike, and finally, run. For fitness enthusiasts, adrenaline seekers, or really anyone looking for a fresh personal challenge, this sport is incredibly appealing because it tests your total versatility. Now, you might be wondering why that specific order. It's not just some random tradition. It's actually by design to keep you safe. Starting with the swim reduces the risk of athletes entering the water when they're already physically exhausted. It's a really crucial safety measure.
Section 2. Demystifying triathlon distances.
When you look at the sheer variety of races out there, it's important to know you definitely don't have to start with an Ironman. A super sprint is very approachable, but generally the sprint distance is the absolute sweet spot for newcomers. To put that into perspective, the 750-meter swim in a sprint is equivalent to about 16 laps down and back in a standard 25-yard pool. That's followed by a 12.4-mile bike ride and a 3.1-mile run, which is just a standard 5K. From there, once you're hooked, you can scale up to the Olympic distance, the half Ironman or 70.3, all the way up to the legendary full Ironman.
So you got to ask yourself, which distance is right for you? You need to take a step back and assess your current fitness level, your experience in these 3 sports, and your personal goals. But based on everything we've reviewed, the sprint distance is hands down the best starting line for true beginners. It allows you to get the full, exhilarating experience of the sport without requiring you to, quit your day job just to train.
And here's a real reality check on the time commitment involved. Preparing for a sprint triathlon usually demands a very manageable 4 to 6 hours of training per week. You can easily squeeze that in before work or on the weekends. An Ironman, on the flip side, demands 8 to 12 hours, or honestly, often much more, every single week. Starting small isn't just smart, it's the most practical and sustainable plan for a novice.
Section 3. Training tips and success.
All right, let's talk training essentials. First off, focus on your technique early on, especially in the water. Getting a few sessions of private swim coaching is absolutely invaluable, and it'll save you so much wasted energy. Second, prioritize your pacing. A massive drop-off in pace during a race is exactly what we want to avoid. It's always better to start a little slower and finish strong. Get in tune with your body's perceived exertion. Third, you absolutely must incorporate what we call brick workouts. This means stacking 2 disciplines back-to-back, like going for a run immediately after a bike ride, just to get used to how heavy your legs are going to feel. They feel like actual bricks. And finally, definitely don't ignore your strength and mobility training, which is key to preventing injuries.
Now, if you're feeling even a little intimidated, I want to share the highly motivational story of Coach Doug Silk. He actually started his journey 50 pounds overweight. Back then, the idea of an endurance race seemed entirely out of reach for him. But by taking it just one step, one pedal stroke, and one lap at a time, he not only lost the weight and became a successful triathlete, but he progressed through the distances to become a coach himself. It's living proof that anyone, regardless of their starting point, can conquer this sport.
Section 4. Avoiding common beginner mistakes.
A crucial point in your journey is how you allocate your time. Beware the single sport mindset. Like, if you're a runner, it's super tempting to just run 4 days a week and barely swim because swimming feels uncomfortable. But you have to train your weakest discipline the most. Don't just coast on your existing athletic strengths. Also, never ever ignore your recovery days because that's when your muscles are actually rebuilding. And please, do not blindly copy those elite training plans you find online. Those are built for full-time pros, not people balancing a 9-to-5 job and a mortgage. Finally, a huge mistake we see is overtraining on the bike while undertraining the swim. Seriously, get in the water. Section 5. Preparing for race day. Understanding the actual sequence of events is vital for race day. You start with the swim, then you enter transition 1 or T1. Then you're on the bike. After that comes transition 2 or T2.
and finally, the run. A lot of veterans actually refer to the transitions as the fourth discipline. This is where the clock is still ticking and you're switching gear, changing your mindset, and physically adapting your body from horizontal swimming to vertical biking, or from spinning legs to running legs. You really have to practice those transitions.
When it comes down to race day strategies, it's the small details that save massive amounts of time. Pre-portion your nutrition. A pro tip, tape your energy gels directly to your bike frame so you aren't fumbling with wrappers in transition. You'll also want to verify the course beforehand. Maybe drive the bike route so you know exactly where the potholes and the big hills are hiding. If it's a chilly morning, definitely keep windproof gloves in T1 because frozen fingers simply cannot shift bike gears. And for breakfast, eat simple carbs the morning of the race. A piece of toast or a bagel with a banana is perfect fuel that won't upset your stomach.
Section 6. Resources for your journey.
To really equip yourself for success, seek out structured training plans through apps like Training Peaks. They totally take the guesswork out of your daily workouts. I also highly recommend joining local triathlon clubs. Having community support makes this whole daunting challenge so much more achievable and, honestly, genuinely fun. When you head out to practice open water swimming, always bring a friend or a spotter for safety. And if you find you're struggling with your fueling, consulting a sports nutritionist can be an absolute game changer.
Now, before we wrap up, it is incredibly important that we note this medical disclaimer. Please consult with a healthcare provider before starting any new exercise regimen, particularly if you have pre-existing medical conditions. We want all of you proceeding safely before you even begin your very first training block.
And that leaves us with one final, provocative question. The finish line is waiting. Which starting line will you choose? Whether it's a super sprint in a local park or you're plotting a multi-year journey to an Ironman, the knowledge is now firmly in your hands. Equip yourself, plan smart, train your weaknesses, and go out there and embrace the challenge. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see you out on the course.